So we've got a 2005 BMW 5 Series in for key programming. So the customer's currently got a standard key and they're wanting to upgrade to this key. So I'll go into the cockpit now and show you the original key. We've cut these two keys to match, so they're ready to be programmed in. As you can see here, you got the original diamond key, which is all taped up. The blade's wobbling about and broken, so it's a 3-button key. I think it's lock, unlock, and hold that one down for boot. And they've gone on eBay and got an upgraded, newer style F chassis style remote. So it's got a flip blade now, like that. And we've just cut this to match the original. So to program it in, we're going to use the Exos. So yeah, on here we can go in and go into key immobilizer programming, and down to BMW. Just to show you, the original key isn't working. If you put it in the ignition, you'll see when you switch the ignition on, the key's not recognised and the ignition doesn't come on. But we've put the original in, that comes on, and it'll start up. And you put a foot on the brake. So that starts and runs on the original, but the buttons aren't working, so that's why the customer's wanting these new ones replaced. So we're going to IMO programming. We've got a good range of coverage on this tool. It's very good on BMW, Mercedes and Volkswagen Audi group, but it does cover all these other manufacturers as well. It's good on other stuff as well, but yeah. So we're going to put the original key in, turn the ignition on, and then we're going to automatically diagnose the model. So we're going to start programming. It covers those types of immobilizers. It's detected that it's a Class 2 immobilizer. So a lot of people get confused with programming on BMWs because there's so many options, as you can see here. And naturally you might go to add a key or prepare dealer key. So yeah, if you do it wrong, say for instance we went on prepare dealer key, which isn't the first step, it says please get the key information first, then make dealer key. So it does give you a guidance on that we need to read the key information first before we can prepare dealer key. We've got to do that first before we can add a key. So there's a certain step to it, but it does sort of stop you from making too many mistakes. Also important, very important on BMWs is battery voltage. As you can see here, we're in red, 11 below 12 volts, so that's not ideal. So what we're going to do is pull the bonnet and get the battery support unit on the battery. So now we've got that resolved. As you can see, I'll just put those on. Positive there and negative there. So that's on the battery support unit now. And now we've got our voltage above 12 volts. 13.34. Perfect. So we're going to start with read key information. And this says if you want to add a key, insert the original key into the ignition and start to connect with the vehicle. If it's all keys lost, so if a customer's got no working keys and we only had these for example and didn't have the working key, then you put the blank key into the ignition and start with that. So press yes for add a key, no for all keys lost, and because we're just adding a key we're going to press yes. So it's pulled this information from the vehicle. So remote frequency is 868 megahertz. So if this doesn't program, we need to make sure that this is 868 megahertz, not 433. So because the customer supplied these off eBay, we don't actually know what frequency these are working in. So we could, if we want to, check out what that is. You can use the same tool to do it. So tell you what, we'll do it now. So we'll go back to the home screen and check the remote. So as you can see, I didn't actually know this was going to be wrong, but it is wrong. So this remote isn't ever going to work because it's at 433 megahertz, and this vehicle works in 868. So yeah, when I'm pressing the button here, it's detecting the frequency, and yeah, it's in 433 megahertz. So this remote isn't going to work. So we'll get the key programmed in, the transponder programmed in, and sometimes is a way in holding certain buttons and doing certain things, but because it's aftermarket, the customer's going to have to speak to the seller of this and find out how to switch it from 433 to 868. Once it is set to the right frequency on these, you can put the key in the ignition. This is off memory. Put the key in the ignition, so it might not be right. You can check it online. Turn the ignition on, hold the lock button down, and while holding it, press the unlock button 3 times. 1, 2, 3. 3 presses. Then release both. Once that's done, it will add the remote to the vehicle. So it's a manual sequence anyway. But for now, we're just going to get the programming done for the immobilizer side. So going back, it's detected as CAS 2, read key information, and add a key, so yes. So it's pulled the information. You got to look through this information mainly for this, for make sure the remote is in the right frequency. It says the current key in the ignition is key number 3, so that's key number 3 in the system. So we're going to continue, so we're going to press yes. So the dealer key should be taken away from the ignition switch. If it's keyless, please move it out of the car. If there's no key, continue anyway. So we're going to take this key out of the ignition switch. So take it out, just pop it down here out of the way, and press OK. So it's got login information, it's read key information, and as you can see here, this vehicle has 1, 2, 3 keys programmed to it, and there's a possible of 10 keys it can have programmed to it. So that's all the information. So it's good to take a picture of that information also, just so you've got that. Yeah, so we've got all that information down, and we don't have to write it down. Luckily, we can save it in. Looks like you've got these maybe that key is enabled as well, key number 6 somewhere in the past. So I'm going to avoid key slot number 1, 2, 3 and 6. So I'm going to program these in probably as these two as key number 10 and key number 9, because they're unused at the moment. So I'm going to save this information down, and we'll save it into this folder. Always take a picture of the location where that's been saved as well. So save here, and then we like to add something unique to the front of the file name, so we know it's this one. So I'm just going to put 535D, because that's what this vehicle is. It's a BMW 535D, and save. So take a picture of the location and where that's been saved. Now we can then go in and prepare dealer key, and we can see all these slots. So it says please select the key to be operated, and what I'm going to do is go for key number 10. Cannot connect to car, please check an OBD connection. So I'm going to put the original key in, turn the ignition on so it can communicate with the car. Prepare dealer key. Right, so put new key in programmer. So this is a new key, and this is classed as the programmer. So that's in there, and then we can press OK again. So is the current key a smart key? So smart key means it's keyless, where you can keep it in your pocket. That's not the case for this one. It's a keyed ignition, as you can see here. So we're just going to press no, because it's not a smart key. So is it? If yes, press yes. If no, click no. So that's making that a dealer key. So key make OK and locked. Please use it to start the car. If no start engine, use add key function to add the key to the CAS system, to the immobiliser. If it can start the engine but keyless won't work, then use the repair keyless function. So what it's saying is basically it's locked this key in as key number 10. If this starts the vehicle, then it's all good and done, but if it doesn't, then we need to add it to the system. So we're going to press OK, and we're going to prepare this as a dealer key as well, the second key. So prepare dealer key, and we're going to go with slot key number 9. Put new key into programmer like that, and then press OK. It's not a smart key still, so no. So that's making the dealer key. So that's saying the same. Please use it to start the car. So we're going to press OK. Now we're going to just test if these two start the car. So switch the ignition off for the original. Put the new key in. This is key number 9. Turn the ignition on, and yeah, we've got ignition on. So that's better than before. Seats moving into default factory positions. As you can see, it's completely changed the seat positioning because this key doesn't have any data stored on it yet. So we're just going to put our foot on the brake and see if it starts. So that's the key done and added, no warnings on the screen. So that's that one. And we're going to switch the ignition off, get the new other second key that also didn't used to work. Put our foot on the brake, make sure that one starts. Ignition comes on, so that's a good start. And that one starts and runs. So it's always good to test these a couple of times. So switch the ignition off. And go again. No warnings on the dash, just that the service is due. So that's all good. And then test this one again. So we've tested them a couple of times. So yeah, it's all programmed and added. If it didn't start as it said in the menus, what we would have done then is go into add a key to add the key to the system. The remote isn't going to work because we can try it, but we put the key in the ignition, and to program these, you turn the ignition on, hold the lock button and press 1, 2, 3, unlock, release both, turn the ignition off, and give it a try. Oh, yeah, it's done it. On the wrong frequency, but it's done it. So that's good. It must have synced its frequency at the same time. Didn't expect that to work, but it worked. This is the other key that I've not added. So just test this. Oh, it's already added. So when it's added the transponder, it's added the remote at the same time. So yeah, I didn't need to do the manual sequence. If it did lose sync, then you can use a manual sequence in the ignition to sync it back. But it's programmed the remote at the same time as the transponder, and it must have switched its frequency as well. So that's it. We can come out of here and go right back to the main menu and disconnect the tool. So that's everything done. We'll just make sure lastly that the original still works. So ignition on the brake. So yeah, original still works, and that's the job done. So the whole job is sort of a 10-minute job really for a BMW, which isn't bad. A lot of people will refuse these jobs for BMWs because it's hard to get a programmer that will actually work with them. But with this one, it's pretty straightforward. We need battery support unit on, then we just went into the immobiliser function, the top one there. BMW prepared read the immobiliser data and saved that down. Then prepared 2 dealer keys, which programmed them into the system and programmed the remote at the same time. And then cut the keys. Obviously, right at the beginning, we cut the keys to match the original, and that's the job done. So we'll have more videos on the exhaust programmer for BMW. We've also got some bench programming as well in the other videos. Thank you.